A job is a job is a job. Nope, it's not. I don't buy into that train of thought. Oh, I guess if we're like 16 and talking about the fast food industry or maybe a retail or restaurant position, I'd let somebody say it's just a job. I'm Marty with Warehouse and Operations as a career, and I'm of the opinion that even our first job should be planned out. We should enjoy it. It should serve us with a purpose. Oh, it's okay if that purpose is just a paycheck, as long as we know that it's just a purpose. I'm not going to hash out planning and goals today, but I do want to brush up against them just a little bit. I wanted to share some conversations that I'd had since last Thursday regarding why people are working and what they hope to get out of their jobs. I picked this subject because I had to kind of scratch my head on more than one occasion this week after sitting down and digesting what I just heard. Now, don't get me wrong, there is absolutely nothing wrong with working a job with no plan at all. It is perfectly fine to change jobs every 3 months if you're only looking for a check on Friday and are going to be content with it. If it fulfills your needs and commitments, it'll work for you until it doesn't. You've heard me express my feelings about how I believe we should enjoy what we're doing, enjoy our task, do something that makes us happy. I'm going to go out on a limb and say one can't sustain a job if, they're not happy or enjoying going to work every day. There is no way that that path is going to turn into a career. All right, enough about careers. Let me share a couple of conversations with you that I had this week. What I'll call number one is a statement I hear way too often, I believe. And it typically goes something like this: I can do anything. I'm a fast learner. You know what I'm hearing when someone says that is, I have no idea what the job is, but I'll give it a shot for a few weeks. That few weeks usually turns into just a couple of hours. For one individual, it was like 30 minutes. This is a good example of wasted money and time. So this individual took the time to be interviewed over the phone for a general labor position, unloading trailers, an hourly position. It was a pretty good job, no real productivity demands. Anyway, so he completed the phone interview and came to the office for a face-to-face meeting with the hiring agent. He went through the onboarding process, had an orientation, and watched a few of the videos. Probably had at least 3 hours of his own time invested, plus fuel to drive to the interview and his first day, to his new job. Now, the company probably had already invested, probably something like $300 or so in him, counting the onboarding, the recruiter's time, and the 30 minutes of training that he was given. He did not really want the job when he accepted it. Oh, and here's another one that I liked. A person applied for a pallet runner position. The recruiter went over the candidate's resume and felt like they had enough general warehouse experience to perform the task. She asked about their experience on an electric rider jack, even pulled out a picture of it and was told, "Oh yeah, I have over a year experience driving that." I'll make a long story short by saying when they arrived for their pit training and realized they were about to be put on the pallet jack, the truth kind of bubbled to the surface. This person had already wasted like 2 hours of their own time and was about to sit through a 3-hour class only to be told at the end that they did not have the experience required to perform that task. Now, of course, I get it. These people are needing a job, a paycheck. They need to be earning some money, but they needed a plan. I was interviewing for a warehouse supervisor position this week. I had a gentleman on the phone. I like to start off by reviewing the position that I'm going to be talking about. Covering things like the hours, reviewing the job description, the salary range, and a bit about our company before we dive into their resume. I figure it's best not to waste my time or theirs if the position is not going to interest them at all, right? So I went over my whole spiel. He liked what he heard, so we decided to talk about his experiences. My first question was, and now remember, I was looking at his resume. He knew that I had it in front of me. So I asked if he could walk me through his duties at his last employer. His answer was, I did everything. Well, there was a long pause, and I asked, could you be a bit more specific? Maybe just walk me through a typical day from beginning to end. In a bit of a negative tone, and without the specifics, he went on to state that he would do whatever his boss had laid out for him to do that day. Well, I continued with the interview and skipped on down to the skills area. He had noted that he could operate the stand-up reach lift and all electric rider jacks. When I brought those up, wow, it was like fireworks going off. The passion just exploded within him. He loved being an order selector and had worked as a put-away fork driver for like 4 years before his old boss promoted him to supervision. I helped him get placed somewhere else as an equipment operator. He had already failed at supervision because he hated it, but he felt like that's what he wanted to do. It wasn't. Okay, as an employee, an associate, and applicant, we have some responsibility to ourselves here. Have any of us ever taken a job and then not go in on the first day? Any of us knew when we were filling out our W-4s that we were not going in? We knew that we had no intention of going to work in the morning? How about walking out at lunch without telling anyone? Oh, and here's a good one for you. How about asking your new boss if you could go out to your car to get a different jacket and then not come back? I heard about that one this week. There is nothing to be ashamed about with a job that's just not for us. Maybe the work is harder than we thought it'd be, or the environment is just, a little bit more than what we can handle. I was in Georgia 2 weeks ago and had a gentleman I had just hired the day before come up to me and share that the cold dock was just more than he could tolerate. Although I had gone over the different temperature ranges with him, it was just too cold. He offered to finish up the day, but stated he wouldn't be able to come back tomorrow. You've got to respect that. I thanked him for the heads up and told him it was okay if he would rather leave now. He could certainly stay and earn a little more money, but it was fine and I'd understand if he'd like to go. He left, no harm, no foul. As employees, no, let me start over. As people, we have to be happy. A job is great for a paycheck, but we should put in the time to research our positions and the companies that we want to work for. No, I'll say the companies that we want to work with. I feel like we should be interviewing them while they're interviewing us. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, the sooner we can identify a career or profession that we love, the more money we're going to earn and the quicker we're going to advance within that industry. And remember, it is perfectly fine to change our careers. You may change yours many times. But enjoy everything that you're tasked to do. Otherwise, you're just going to feel like you're wasting your time. And that leads to frustration and poor performance. You cannot be the best of the best if you are not enjoying what you're doing. Okay, I'm jumping off the soapbox now. I wanted to remind everyone, or to present to everyone, that it's our responsibility to seek out our employment. Sometimes our situation may dictate that we just grab a job, and that's okay. I feel, though, that we need to target a company that's going to afford us the positions, the equipment skills, and growth opportunities that will make us, wake up for every shift every day and look forward to going in. Maybe even dance all the way there. Well, I didn't end up talking about what I wanted to today, but I did get to share some thoughts, right? Give us a holler at host@warehouseandoperationsasacareer.com. Share some of your experiences on the subject. Until next week, be upfront with ourselves, maybe even others, and be safe at home and work. We have people waiting on us to return.